All right, guys. I just wanted to make this quick video for everybody out there that's a first time home buyer or and they're young. What do I mean young? I might be targeting under 35. And I want to explain some things to you about real estate, in general, about what's going on right now and what would be the best plan of action to achieve your goals. All right, so the first thing I want to deal with is the behemoth that's out there, interest rates. And I want to give you a better glimpse, a better understanding of historical interest rates. All right, so this goes back to 1970. The chart that I have, uh, and I got this from Forbes.com. That's a great site to go to for financial information. And there's other places you can find this information also, but I chose to use Forbes, and I'll show you the reason why I'm showing you this, and I'm using Forbes. So 19 uh about 1970, 71 specifically. If you look, interest rates were 7.33, and then they go up, they go down. 731, 45, 88.6. So what I want you to understand is that when the news keeps saying we're in high interest rates, see, the news doesn't tell you everything. They want you to feel a certain way, and it's a response from it. But as you can see, let me show you when rates got really, really high. So about right here. I was a child at this time. This stuff wasn't important to me at that time. It didn't become important to me until graduating. All right, so 15, 15, and then look at this right here. We go way up to 18.44. That's in the 80s. And there was some things going on in the 80s, just to let you guys know that you guys was not even born yet. But there was some things going on in the 80s, and then we went down to 12.71. Then you got here 9.26, late 80s. And it goes up and it goes down, as you see. It was 10.80 in 1989. Now let's see. Look at that, 10.16. 1990. That was a memorable year for me. And this was 30-year fixed interest rate right there. And then goes up, goes down, keeps going that all the way until, if you look right here, in 2002, it was 6.35. And then it dropped. Just look, March, July, it dropped 5.93. Then it dropped 4.73, right? But this doesn't show you the whole picture. So when those rates dropped, what happened to the home prices? Home prices shot up. So 515, and then look, we got to these late 2000s, 2010 specifically, when we had that crash, 2008, 2010, all the way up to about 2012. Rates have dropped into the threes before, below 4, right? And they're making this out to be a big story. 2011, 290, 274, 272, 268. So was rates extremely low then, or has it been a pattern all throughout these years? Because it's been a pattern all throughout these years, right? Now we're going through that period again where it goes up, right? Where it goes up. Now we're at 7, right? So I just want to let you understand that don't worry about that as much. The focus should be on buying a house at the right price for the monthly payment. Now, I'm going to dive into some of that a little bit because the prices are up and how you can go about it. But before I do so, I want to share this with you. And this is what's driving prices up, and it's making it very difficult for you guys to buy a house. Wall Street ownership is why housing is out of reach. Now, this was written August 2nd, 2023, right? It talks about what's happening and they're buying up the properties, right? So they're making it difficult for you guys to buy. But what I want you to understand too is this. When you're going through buying a house, you're talking to many people. It's not only the realtor, but you're talking to mother, father, brother, cousin, sister, friend, co-worker, everybody, right? And everybody's going to give you mixed information. All right. The information that you really, really should like listen to is your trusted realtor. Most of us are honest, right? And we're going to give you the solid information, the information that's coming from the industry. See, mom, dad, they could have bought a house, 1980, 19, 70, 1990, and many things have changed since then. Financing have changed totally. Laws have changed. Requirements have changed. So today, you're being scrutinized a lot to get a mortgage. All right. So let's look at this right here. I just want to dive into an email coming from one of my top lenders. And we're gonna use the 280 and 300 mark as the price point. And I want you to understand what's on my screen here. This payment and purchase price is based on 280,000, right? So you need approximately $11,741 to do this transaction, to complete this transaction. But that's just one big picture. That's one part of the picture, right? Rather, monthly payment is approximately 23 to 70, right? And then it's 23.95. So it ranges, right? This is a monthly estimate, more or less, right? Every $10,000 that you go up or you go down, it changes by $60. So if you went down to 270, the 2360 is now 2310. All right. So people always ask me, why is that? Why is it such a little mark? Because it's over 30 years. You're financing over 30 years. So, a $10,000 change over 30 years is not much. $60. All right. Now, this is the payment breakdown. So everybody always asks me, why is it 23 and 23.95 between those numbers? Well, here's your basic payment breakdown. $2,065 is your principal and interest, right? But you forgot something, taxes. Now I want to give you a tip. When you're online and they got those mortgage calculators, it doesn't calculate the taxes and it doesn't calculate the home insurance. So that's the two things that's being left out when you're doing that calculator. All right, so 65 home ownership insurance, that's broken down over an estimate of $780 for the year. Um, Mortgage insurance, that's for you not having 20%. Now, over time, you can get rid of that 20% number once you get the 20% equity into the property. Um, and then you get rid of that 123. All right, purchase price. Let's look at 300,000. Look, it's a difference of about 200 as far as the money that you need. $11,984 in this particular situation. All right, so the payment is based on the purchase price of 300. Monthly equals 2527 or 2552, right? Every 10,000, it goes up or down. $60. The mortgage payment on this one would be $2,212 principal and interest. 141 again is the taxes. Same house, same taxes, same monthly part of that monthly breakdown. $65. And then look at the mortgage insurance. Because the number is going up by 20,000, you pay an additional 132 of mortgage insurance. All right. So just wanted to share that. Great information from my guy. Just wanted to share that to you. Now, let's start to break down this, right? Um, Depending upon where you want to buy, all right, prices fluctuate. Now, why do they fluctuate? Because of the area. All right. Newcastle County, Delaware is, I would say, most likely more desirable because you have many people relocating into the state to live in the state, but they're going to work outside the state. They're going to work in the state where they came from, most likely, because the wages are much higher. So PA, wages are higher. New Jersey, wages are higher. Uh, Maryland, wages are higher again. So if you look at the surrounding areas, wages are just higher. Now, many of those folks, they have an advantage over a lot of Delawareans. A lot of Delawareans that I'm friends with, they don't like the drive to work. They want to live within a distance of work. For us guys that's from out of the state, that's weird. That's strange to us because we would drive to get higher wages and cut our costs for housing. And many people throughout the country is doing this. So uh, you might have to change that a little bit, so you could win, so you could benefit. So because rent is up with these numbers at 25, 21, 22, 23, 3,000, right? But the difference is you get tax advantages from the interest and principal that you're paying. It's a tax deduction. Many other things can be a tax deduction for like having a house. That's something that you would want to speak to an accountant to find out all the benefits. But let's run down these numbers. So the other thing that is pulling against you is that the inventory levels is low, and please don't be discouraged from this situation, because I'll give you an example. Many people said back in, let's look at the time frame again. They said around this mark. They said around that mark, right? I'll wait. I'll wait and save more money. I'm going to save more money. All right. So typically, some of us realtors have heard that from several clients, right? We don't even know where it comes from and what's in the thinking process. Um, but back then, houses were being gobbled up, right? So once we got to this mark right about here, conditions of real estate changed. And the change was COVID caused everybody to rush and they ran and they started gobbling up houses. Well, that gobbled up the inventory. So before COVID, it could have been 3 to 4 months worth of supply. And what does that mean? Available houses on the market for people to purchase. After COVID, we dropped down way below 1 month's worth of supply. And then came bidding wars, and then came people that were just in a way better position financially as far as money that would win that one particular house that everybody's going for. All right, so these individuals waited, and look where the interest rate was at. And I said, solid advice: fight through this storm. It's like a snowstorm, and you need to get home. Don't just pull off the road and give up. Keep going, because eventually, when you get into a house, the interest rate is going up. It's going to go up, and it went up, right? And it shot up that now they're no longer even qualified to buy a house at the mark that they were able to buy it at before. So this is the way it works. If you qualify for 400 back at this number, say 2.3. Ooh, oh, that's a 15-year. That's not even a good one. Let's look at, that's an arm. Let's see if we can get to 30. 30-year. There we go. 3.24, right? So let's say you qualify for 400. Well, as this number goes up, the purchase price power goes down. So now you only qualify for 300. So you've been priced out of the market. So now you're frustrated and you can't no longer afford that house that you could afford before because the interest rates went up. But if you had purchased then, let's go back. Let's find it. If you had purchased then, right, the value of the house would have went up. So you would have made some money, invisible money, I'm going to say. Now you can't afford it. So these individuals that waited, they still sitting on the sideline. They most likely going to have to try to wait and figure out if it drops back down to here, I need to make a move. I need to buy something. Okay. So my advice for all you guys looking right now, Newcastle County might be the area that you want to live in. But at the price point, the monthly payment is too high. All right. So this is where you have to mentally shift and just prepare for a little longer drive. If it's 30, 40 minutes, you could deal with that, especially if your house goes up in value. Take it from me. You can. I can show you how much money people earned off of selling their house and then buying that new one. So the strategy is to buy something that's going to continue to go up in value. Now, I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying. If the rates go down, the price of the houses goes up. There's a system to this whole thing. Rates go down, prices go up. Rates stay the same, prices kind of can stay steady and not move anywhere, unless something catastrophic happens. But let me show you this right here. So if you're an individual that's looking for a single family in Newcastle County, and you need to drop down between that 200 and 250 mark to get your payments down low, this is what you're dealing with. The look of the house, the location of the house changes, right? Let me change something here so we can get a better view. Get a better view. Okay. All right. So the location of the house changes. The size of the house can change. The bedrooms can change. Okay. So this look, that's a 2-bedroom, right? Willow Run. Very decent neighborhood, I would say. Brandywine. I lived in this neighborhood. Never had no issues in that neighborhood. Dunleaf. Some people might not like that area. Coming soon. Overview Gardens. That block is a pretty. I like that. I like that street. I want to sell something on that street at some point. Dunleaf again, right? So lowering the price in Newcastle County can hurt because the amount you only got 20, right? And some people may not like the area because they heard some things. A lot of times I'm wondering, like, I'm just wondering, like, what are people saying, and where is this information floating at that, like Delaware neighborhoods are bad. When you grow up in the city, you know what's bad. You can clearly understand the definition of bad neighborhoods. All right, so we're gonna jump the price right now. This is when the mortgage goes up. At 250, you pretty decent because you got at 325, 10, 10, 10, 10, 5 times 60. You got a considerable drop there. But look, the houses, you don't have many choices because of the way the market is. Now, if you're thinking, I'm going to wait, the market is going to improve. The real truth is that in America, it's about a $5 million difference of the amount of houses that's needed to kind of correct this situation. All right. Now, if you got to fix up some things, or you got to change some things, keep that in mind. Like, if you don't like this kitchen, I can tell you what you can do. You can get this off, most likely. You can spray it, paint it, put some handles on it, change these countertops. Flooring is not a major problem. And this is a fairly decent house because it looks clean by the pictures. Got oil heat. Must have central air too. Just hit the market. Now, the other thing that I had to point out is this. Because we're on the East Coast, it gets dark early. We're down to 2 days to shop. If you condense it to one, that's suicide. You have to be available for 2 days at least, because most people are not going during the week because it's dark and it's kind of hard to really see a house in the dark. All right. But these are the houses that's available. It drops as far as like um, quality of house. And if you look, these prices jump right there. You got 269, so you're not getting much savings there. It's just the prices are higher. Only why I know I'm one of those recipients that left another state, and this was a tremendous value to come to Delaware and buy a house that's going to cost 6, 7, 800,000 in the state that you're coming from. So many people there are able to see clear, right? I'm willing to sacrifice the drive. All right, so let's do this. Let's change the county. And I usually didn't even go down to this county too much, but 200. So I wouldn't drive down as much to Dover and Smyrna I would go to Frederica, Milford, Dover, Camden, Wyoming. I wouldn't even go down to those counties that much because I didn't have people shopping there. Now I got a nice mix of people that shopping there because, as you see, look what happened. 220,000. I don't even know what this house looks like. I think I did. Oh yeah, I did see this one. So you got to have some vision too, because some things you got to look beyond. But just look, 3-bedroom, 224. Doesn't have like a crazy architectural design or anything. It's kind of straightforward, but it's been fully renovated already for you, right? Now, maybe that's too small, 2-bedroom. This is a 3. You're at 229, right? Again, 230. And this gets you within that kind of closer to that budget. The goal, and I'm a big avid sports fan. I love sports, right? Play sports, love sports. Felt maybe too far. I think this house is a great looking house right here at 250. Might be able to get a little bit less, right? To help out, save another $60 if it's 10,000. But I'm a big avid sports fan, and in sports, what teams would do, they have a draft pick, high draft pick. They might not have something on the board that's their need. They would draft that pick because it sets them up for a future move. Same thing applies for a house. Pick the best available house on the board that fits your budget. If you have to sacrifice a drive, that's one thing, right? And don't fall into that law that your friends and your family ain't gonna come see you, because that right there, they're gonna come see you, right? And you're gonna go see them. Um, it's nothing but highways in Delaware, which is a beautiful thing. And if you know your way around, you don't get stuck in traffic a lot. So this is my tip as a licensed realtor, as a professional that's been doing this for decades now. Pick the best available house because the market is really low right now. Interest rates go down, prices go up. Just remember that. All right. If you have any questions and you want to like just run it past me, I'm here. I'm open. I'm here to be a resource to you. And also during this period from September, December, to about the end of January, you may not have as many bidding wars, but you will have bidding wars in Newcastle County when a house is priced under where it needs to be, because then everybody's going to see that value and they're going to bid on it. All right. But if you have any questions, just reach out to me. I'm here to be a resource.